We had a surprise first-time winner in the second stop of the Korn Ferry Tour Finals, and we've got one stop left until we get to the end on the road to French Lick. Hello and welcome once again to the Road to French Lick, a show chronicling the Korn Ferry Tour. I'm Ryan Ballengee. On this week's episode, we'll go over the second leg of the Korn Ferry Tour Finals, the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship. We'll talk to the Bubble Boy, who's in 76th position heading into the next stage of the finals, the Compliance Solutions Championship. Brendan Sweeney will join me to talk about everything happening so far in the finals and setting the stage for the final two events of the series. And we'll go over everything getting you ready for the Compliance Solutions Championship, reserved for the top 120 players in the standings out in Oklahoma. First, let's talk about the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship, played once again this year on the Scarlet Course at The Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. This is now the second stage of the Korn Ferry Tour Finals. Historically, it has been the third stage. Now it's been bumped up. The top 144 players in the point standings qualified for this tournament after the top 156 had qualified for the Simmons Bank Open in Nashville to kick off the finals. In the end, we got a little bit of a surprise winner. In his 142nd Korn Ferry Tour start, John VanDerLaan wound up winning this tournament by 3 shots on 17 under, 267, beating Marty Dow and Trent Phillips in the process, who finished on 14 under total each. That was good enough for his first ever Korn Ferry Tour win, earned him $270,000 from the $1.5 million purse. Most importantly, it earned him 600 Korn Ferry Tour points, a bump up from 500 to the winner in the regular season, and that moved him from 52nd place in the Korn Ferry Tour standings, securely in the Korn Ferry Tour Finals, to 15th in the standings, now on the precipice of a PGA Tour card for the first time in 2026. Let's hear from the winner of the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship, John VanDerLaan.
John, first Korn Ferry Tour victory, 5 seasons after you finally got it done. Just how are you feeling right now?
It feels great. It's been a long time coming, it feels like. I told Hannah, my wife, after the last 6-week stretch where I played some really good golf that I was going to win one of these last 4. And my game's been good for a while, and it feels good to actually get it done this time.
You had that double bogey today. Was there anything that went through your head?
I just kind of tried to recompose myself, and those 2 swings on 12 were huge to kind of lead to an easy birdie and kind of get me going back in the right direction. I tried to get away with probably a little too much on 11, and it cost me, but it was nice to bounce back the way I did.
Do you think it's hit you yet that you're officially a Korn Ferry Tour?
I don't know if it'll hit me for a little bit. It's been a long time coming, but it feels good for sure.
As a result of his win in the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship, John VanDerLaan moved from 52nd to 15th in the point standings, getting him inside that critical top 20, which are the graduates heading to the PGA Tour in 2026 at the end of the Korn Ferry Tour Championship. The top 5 in our standings, however, did not change as a result of the second stage of the Korn Ferry Tour Finals. And all 5 players in the top 5 are now guaranteed PGA Tour cards for 2026. Johnny Kiefer remains number 1 on the points list at 2,206 points. Austin Smotherman remains in second at 1,863 points. Neil Shipley remains in third place at 1,627 points. Emilio Gonzalez is fourth at 1,562 points. And Hank Lebioda is in fifth place at 1,455 points. At the end of next week's Compliance Solutions Championship, the field of 120 players from the top 120 in the points list who are eligible for that event will be cut down to the top 75 who will qualify for the season-ending Korn Ferry Tour Championship presented by United Leasing and Finance. To give you a sense of what those numbers look like today, Fabian Gomez is number 75 in the points list. He is at 312.35 points. Number 120 on the points list is Brandon Harkins, who comes in at 186.85 points. So about 130-ish point, 135 point difference between Brandon Harkins at number 120 and Fabian Gomez at number 75. With that in mind, you're going to have to finish somewhere inside the top 4 to give yourself really a chance to get into that final tournament of the year, the Korn Ferry Tour Championship, if you are down toward that 120 number. Even if you don't qualify for the Korn Ferry Tour Championship through the Compliance Solutions Championship, you still want to try to finish inside that top 100 figure for next year, because every player who finishes 76 through 100 gets conditional status on the Korn Ferry Tour in 2026, gives them some semblance of a place to play, and has some access to the Korn Ferry Tour next year, no matter what.
French Lick, Indiana, our little corner of the world, has big things waiting. It's where legends were made, on the court and on the course. Walter Hagen, Colin Montgomery, Betsy Rawls, and Mickey Wright. It's where life is lived to the fullest, and where unexpected adventures are around every corner. Big things are waiting. Are you in? Visit FrenchLick.com and start your escape here in Indiana.
We have two guests for you this week on the road to French Lick, and the first is Sam Anderson. Sam is 76th on the points list heading into the Compliance Solutions Championship, so just outside of that top 75 cutoff to qualify for the Korn Ferry Tour Championship. He spoke with Brendan Sweeney out in Columbus about his situation, where he is right now, trying to get to French Lick, and everything is still on the line for him in these finals.
Sam, what's this year looking like? Where are you at?
I am, it's a good question. I was 72, 72nd on the points before last week, missed the cut. I think I bumped down to like 70, I think it's 74. I missed the cut and I was like, let's just forget about last week.
Yeah.
So I think I'm at 74.
How do you change your mindset going into the playoffs here? This is week 2. And each week it gets whittled down. So
yeah. I don't know. I think, I'll say this. I know if I play my game of golf, I'll be totally fine. I'll make it to French Lick. I'll be top 75. I can contend to win. I played well in Omaha. I finished tied for 6th there. So, and finished 10th in Texas at Texas Rangers. So like, I know my good golf is good enough to compete to win out here. I think you could almost get a little too caught up in where we're at on the points and trying to play too well. And like, yeah, I mean, it's the playoffs and it's elevated points and elevated money and each week's getting dwindled down. But really at the end of the day, like, we're still playing golf.
Yeah.
You start looking at it and I'm obviously in a spot that I'm in a much better spot than a lot of people, but I'm not in as good a spot as some. And I know that if I have a good week, good solid 2 weeks, that'll be totally fine going to French Lick. And so I don't think there's really any reason to panic, because I don't know if anyone's ever panicked and really played great.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think this is my rookie year. So I think my biggest thing this year is just like learning as much as I possibly can.
How's that learning curve been?
It's been good. I played on the Americas the last year and had a nice season out there. I think the biggest difference I would say is on the weekends. Weekends on Americas, I mean, you're obviously still going to have to play good, but playing on the Korn Ferry, like, you're going to have to shoot 4 or 5 under Saturday or Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, you're going to have to be anywhere between 8 to 10 under to not lose ground on the weekend on the Korn Ferry Tour. And like Americas, like, yeah, I mean, you still had to go low, but if you say you had a 2-shot lead, you could probably shoot like even and still be pretty close to the lead and be in striking distance going into Sunday. On the Korn Ferry, if you're in the lead and you shoot even on a Saturday, you're going to be in 25th place and you're playing catch up the whole all day Sunday. So I think it's kind of just like really trusting in myself and knowing what I'm doing is working. And I mean, it's funny because it's like you'd rather, from a point standpoint, like, you need to know your good is really good, right? Like, if you miss a cut and you finish 10th, that's way more points than if you make the cut and finish 62nd, right? And so that's something that it's been kind of comforting to me. It's like, yeah, I miss a cut, whatever, but like, I know my good's going to compete and I can finish top 10, I can finish top 3, I could win if I put myself in those positions. So it's like, I don't really have to do anything extraordinary to succeed out here.
Our second guest this week is a little bit of a flashback for you. We talked to Miles Russell last year in the first season of the Road to French Lick out of Lakewood Ranch, Florida, when he was entered into that event and became the youngest player in the history of the Korn Ferry Tour to finish inside the top 20, earning himself another start on the circuit. He's now playing in the Junior Ryder Cup, which is why we bring him back here this week. Here's our conversation with then 15-year-old Miles Russell.
Hopefully I play well in my game, kind of see how it stacks up against some of the best. Pretty good. I mean, I think I finished second in a big YAM event and then didn't play great at another one, but it's been good.
Where do you play up in Jacksonville?
Atlantic Beach, it's good. I mean, Jacksonville, you got the players, you got TPC, so there's a lot of good players, and every once in a while you can find yourself a good game.
How's your summer going to shape up with, are you playing in the AJGA stuff at all? Or?
Yeah, I'll play a couple AJGAs, a lot of AM events this summer, but it'll be a busy summer, it'll be a fun summer.
Brendan Sweeney joins me from Orlando. We're going to talk about the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship and then set up with a week-long break for the Ryder Cup, the Compliance Solutions Championship, and the Patriot Golf Club out in Oklahoma. So John VanDerLaan winds up winning in his 142nd Korn Ferry Tour start, gets his first ever win on the circuit, jumps up from 52nd place to 15th place, and all of a sudden, what he was probably worried about was trying to find a way to have 2 good weeks to get himself a card. Now he needs to have 1 decent week, and he's probably got himself a PGA Tour card. How things can change in 7 days.
Good for him. And hey, and good for Smokey Patterson Chevrolet in Palmyra, Illinois. The big logo sponsor on his shirt, and good for the Florida Mocs, man, or Southern Florida. It's where he went to college in Lakeland, Florida. And there's some great golfers that came out of there. Lee Jansen, Marco Dawson, Rocco Mediate, now him. So, yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. His dog looked great. His wife was having a good time. I tell you what, it's tough to go up against the NFL on a Sunday. But if you're watching the Road to French Lick, you're probably watching Korn Ferry Golf. So we appreciate you.
Do want to give a shout out to his dog. I thought that was cool. I would like to see more 72nd hole celebration dogs out there on the golf course, even if it's not the winner's dog. Just release some cool dogs and let them have some fun out there.
We had Steve Ferguson's labs out at our place last year during the card ceremony. I tell you what, that's when you know you're doing all right, when Steve handed you 2 leashes and said, "Go over there and watch my dog." So,
and we probably will. Maybe we can fit them in.
A lot of action going on. I'm sorry.
Maybe we can get them on the episode for the Korn Ferry Tour Championship this year. We'll get them both on. They're a riot.
No problem.
All right, so 2 players that finished tied for 4th really improved their chances of getting a PGA Tour card. Chandler Blanchett, who already won this year, he went from 9th to 7th by going T4. Basically locked up a card. It should be done and dusted by the time we get to French Lick. And then Jeffrey Kang, who was 17th, tied for 4th, goes up to 14th. He's not exactly guaranteed a PGA Tour card yet. We'll see how everything shakes out next week with in 2 weeks with the Compliance Solutions Championship. But those are 2 big steps for guys who didn't win but really improved their situation.
He's right there. And Zach Michaud, I mean, he didn't have a great week, but he's still up there in the top 10, which is great. And then Chandler, if he would have finished 3rd or better, he would have gotten his card on Sunday.
Yeah.
And he left the putt on 18 short. And there you go. But yeah, chances are he's punching his ticket to French Lick, so which is good.
Which is awesome. I mean, that's the kind of value of these last couple tournaments is, there are the cutoffs, right? And we'll get to those in a minute. But also one guy here, one guy there. If they're not exactly guaranteed mathematically to have a card, they're awfully close, and they probably get to wipe their brow a little bit.
Yeah, and Chandler actually has a French Lick logo on his bag, so we're pulling for him big time. So it's good.
Well, we got to get him some airtime during the Korn Ferry Tour Championship too, so he can't totally mail it in. We'd like to see him
presented by United Leasing and Finance, which is good.
And then there were the 2 guys that I don't want to skip over them entirely. The 2 guys that finished tied for 2nd. Marty Dow, who has been back and forth between this circuit, the PGA Tour. He's been kind of all over. This is an important week for him. He goes from 58th to 33rd in the points. Yeah, that doesn't get you in the top 20, but you're definitely into French Lick. You definitely have a place to play, and you definitely have an outside shot in the next 2 tournaments to get a card. Same with Trent Phillips, who goes from 53rd to 31st. So really important moves to kind of try to set yourself up to at least have a chance to get a card.
Yeah, and if you look at like who's like hovering around that top 20, so far. Justin Saw, Avero Ortiz, Josh Teeter, Logan McAllister, who won, ADDC from Illinois, Austin Hitt, Kyle Westmoreland, who had a great top 10 finish this week as well. So there's a lot of things happening in the playoffs, and we're looking forward to Oklahoma, obviously. I checked out flights for that. There's no way I'm spending 9 hours commuting each way to go watch these guys, so I'll check them out on TV and phone it in from there. So it should be exciting. Hopefully the weather, it's that time of year where, it could be sunny and 80 or 50 and raining. So it's going to be interesting to see what Oklahoma has. So,
as you know, with French Lick, and I from what I understand in Oklahoma, having never been actually in Oklahoma, but I've watched the Patriot Golf Club on TV for a collegiate event. The wind can play an enormous factor very quickly at both places. So don't expect a lot of beautiful, calm, easy conditions for 4 straight days for these players.
Yeah, and I think there's actually like 10 or 12 guys that have Oklahoma roots that are on the Korn Ferry Tour. So
yeah,
should be a good hometown cruise for a couple of these guys. But I tell you what, last week we lost some guys with the cut. And it's interesting that last year we were both waiting for Doc Redman and Sam Bennett to get their cards.
Yep.
And now they're done for the year. It just shows you, what could happen out there and in a short amount of time. And, Doc has a child. He's off for a couple of weeks here and there, and they just never got back on track. And we never really heard too much from Sam Bennett. And last year it was a shoo-in that he was going to go. And I think he finished, 32nd?
Something like that. If he just played a couple, I think 3 strokes better over the course of those 4 days, he winds up getting a card, and he's on the PGA Tour, and who knows what happens from there. But instead, plays another season on this tour, gets knocked out of the second stage of the finals, and now his entire professional career is in jeopardy.
Yeah, and then a couple other guys that we won't be seeing for the rest of the year. Will McGirt, Bobby Diaz, Patrick Cover, and Ryan Gibson all have touched their toes in the PGA Tour. And unfortunately, they didn't make it to the cut for Oklahoma coming up. So it's top 120 going in there, and we'll see what happens. But there's a couple of guys that are outside of the top 120, or that are from the 120 to 70 mark that have to play well this week coming up, or in 2 weeks coming up. James Nichols, who had an outstanding first into Bahamas. He was almost leading, cruising on the 16th hole, yanks a 9. Tailspins after that. Cole Hammer, Luke Guthrie, Dan McCarthy. These guys got to step it up, and if they don't make the cut, they're done too. So we'd love to have them all in French Lick, but they got to perform to make it.
And even if you do get cut next week, or you don't get into the Korn Ferry Tour Championship presented by United Leasing and Finance, if you're 76th through 100th, you get at least conditional status on the tour next year. So you're not automatically thinking about Q school. You're not thinking about, I have no place to play. You at least have something to fall back on. So even if you're going to be one of those 45 players who get cut after the Compliance Solutions Championship, you still have something worthwhile chasing for next year.
Got it. And then if you look at the top of the list, like the guys who have their cards right now, who are guaranteed their cards, their PGA status is based upon how they finish on the Korn Ferry Tour. So they need to go full throttle just to get better positioning for next year. Next year is going to be interesting. You got 20 guys or 25 guys heading down from PGA Tour who need a place to play. Either they're going to Europe or they're going to the Korn Ferry Tour. So it should be an interesting year coming up in 2026. But as we see the end of the finish line of 25, it looks exciting. I mean, lives will be changed. Either you're going to stick around and you're going to play golf for the rest of your life, or you're going to be selling umbrellas somewhere in Topeka, Kansas. Who knows? We'll figure it out.
Well, with that in mind, in 2 weeks, we'll get to see each other at French Lick. Yep. Everything's built out. Everything's ready to go. It's going to be awesome. The test of the year, test of the lifetime for a lot of these guys trying to get a PGA Tour card or just trying to make sure their career takes the next step that it needs to take. So, Brendan, looking forward to it in a couple of weeks. We'll talk again after everything in Oklahoma, and we'll set the stage for what should be an awesome week.
All right, Ryan. Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.
That'll do it for us this week on the road to French Lick. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We have one more tournament before the season-ending Korn Ferry Tour Championship presented by United Leasing and Finance at the Pete Dye course at the French Lick Resort out in Indiana, and that is the Compliance Solutions Championship played at the Patriot Golf Club in Oklahoma. We'll have a show for you after that tournament, setting the stage for the top 75 players who qualify for the season-ending tournament and those who have guaranteed themselves PGA Tour cards for 2026 heading into the final event of the year. For Brendan Sweeney and everyone at the French Lick Resort, I'm Ryan Ballengee. For everyone at Golf News Net, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on the road to French Lick.
You've arrived at French Lick Resort, here in Indiana. 2 hotels you have to see to believe. Legendary Golf by Pete Dye and Donald Ross. Our little corner of the world is like nowhere else. Your French Lick getaway starts now at FrenchLick.com.